Welcome to Think Simple Podcast. Deep topics, simple words.
Have you ever walked away from a conversation and just felt entirely drained?
Yeah, like your battery is just completely gone.
Exactly. You sit there and realize that for the last hour, the other person, well, they only talked about themselves.
Right. They didn't ask a single question about your life or your day or how you were doing.
Not one. Or, on the flip side, maybe you've walked away from a talk with someone and quietly worried, like, wait, am I being too selfish right now?
Oh, for sure.
Like, you think, did I just make that whole dinner about me? That is such a universal worry.
It really is. Welcome to Think Simple Podcast, where we help you understand psychology and life in a calm, simple way.
We all have this, this basic human need to be seen and heard, but sometimes it feels like certain people are just sucking all the oxygen right out of the room.
Yeah, makes you feel completely invisible.
But honestly, if you are actively worrying about whether you're being selfish, that is usually a pretty good sign that you aren't the problem.
Exactly, because the very fact that you care about your impact on people means you have self-awareness.
Right. So today, we are going to talk about the psychology of narcissism.
We want to explain this in really simple terms, not like an academic paper, but just to help you understand the people in your life, and maybe yourself, a bit better.
And if you enjoy calm, thoughtful conversations like this one, please take a second to subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out.
So we throw the word narcissist around so much these days, right?
Yeah.
Like someone takes too many selfies and we just call them a narcissist.
Oh, yeah. Or someone is arrogant at work and boom, they're a narcissist.
But to really understand what this means, we actually have to go way back in time, long before smartphones or social media even existed.
Right, to an old story. To understand modern behavior, we need to look at this ancient Greek and Roman myth that perfectly captures the feeling.
The myth of Narcissus.
Yeah.
And it is, it's actually amazing how accurate this old story is for psychology today.
It really is. So Narcissus was this incredibly handsome young man wandering around, supposedly looking for love.
And during his travels, he meets a nymph named Echo. And she is completely in love with him.
But he just brutally rejects her. He pushes her away.
Yeah, and then shortly after that, he's walking past a river, and he looks down into the water.
And he catches a glimpse of his own reflection.
Right, and he becomes completely obsessed. He falls so deeply in love with his own image that he literally cannot pull himself away from the riverbank.
He just sits there. He just stares at himself, totally disconnected from the rest of the world.
Until he eventually, well, he falls in and drowns.
Mm.
And the flower that grew in that spot is called the narcissus.
Wow. The visual of that is just so sad. But what I find so interesting is the other character, Echo.
Yeah, Echo is the perfect way to describe what it feels like to talk to someone like this today. Because her voice is taken away.
Right. She is cursed to only repeat the last words that someone else says.
And when you deal with someone who has that inflated, grandiose self-image, your own thoughts just sort of fade away.
You just become an audience member. You exist just to echo their greatness back to them.
Exactly. And that is the true psychological definition of narcissism. It's not just taking selfies.
Right. It's more than vanity.
Yeah, it's having an inflated, grandiose self-image. It's this rigid belief that you are simply better looking, smarter, and more important than everyone else.
And because they think they are so special, they feel they deserve special treatment.
Right. Think about Narcissus staring into the river. He wasn't looking at the trees or the sky.
He was only looking inward.
Exactly. And when you talk to some people today, they aren't listening to you. They're just staring at their own ideas.
That is such a good analogy. Staring at their own ideas instead of listening.
Yeah.
But let me ask you something about that.
Sure.
So what is the difference between just having good, healthy confidence and having this inflated self-image? Because society tells us to be confident, right?
That's a really great question. Can be confusing. But healthy confidence is rooted in reality.
Okay.
It's knowing your own value, but also valuing the people around you. Healthy confidence listens to others.
I see. So what does an inflated self-image do?
An inflated self-image requires you to be placed above others. It needs a hierarchy. It's not just, I am good, it's, I am better than you.
Oh, I get it. So healthy confidence listens, but an inflated self-image only broadcasts.
Exactly. And here's where it gets really interesting. Because when we picture a narcissist, we usually picture someone loud.
Yeah, loud, obsessed with mirrors, demanding attention.
Right. But there are actually two very different types we meet in everyday life.
Oh, really? I thought it was all just the loud type.
Well, the first one is the loud one. It's called grandiose narcissism. They are extroverted, dominant, and they love the spotlight.
Like certain celebrities or politicians?
Yeah, they pursue power purely for the status and the attention. Though, we should say not everyone in power is a narcissist.
Right, some people want to help.
Exactly. But grandiose narcissists just want the applause.
Uh-huh.
But then there is a second type.
Okay, what is the second type?
It's called vulnerable narcissism, and they're often quiet and reserved.
Wait, really? Someone can be quiet and shy but still be a narcissist?
Yes. It seems strange, right?
Hmm.
But they still have a massive sense of entitlement.
How does that work if they are quiet?
They firmly believe they deserve special treatment, but they are very fragile. They get offended or threatened very easily.
Oh, so they are hypersensitive.
Exactly. It's like grandiose narcissism is like a loudspeaker in the room. It demands everyone's attention.
You can't ignore it.
Right. But vulnerable narcissism is like a fragile glass sitting right in the middle of the floor.
Oh, wow. That is a great way to picture it.
Yeah. It expects everyone else to walk perfectly around it so it doesn't break.
And if you accidentally bump it, they get extremely upset, and it's all your fault.
Exactly. Both the loudspeaker and the fragile glass force everyone else in the room to change their behavior.
You end up just walking on eggshells, and that is so exhausting over a long period of time.
It really is, and that brings us to the dark side of this. What happens when this goes too far?
Right, because we all know people who are just kind of annoying friends. But when does it become dangerous?
Over the long term, people with these traits make very selfish choices. They take risky or unethical actions.
Like being a dishonest partner or lying at work.
Yes, because they are only looking out for themselves. And if you challenge their rosy view of themselves, they get angry.
They don't apologize.
No, they become resentful and aggressive. It's almost like a disease where the person who has it feels completely fine, but everyone around them suffers.
That is so true. The people around them carry all the stress, but this can actually be a real disorder, right?
Yes, the extreme form is called narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD.
How common is that?
It affects about 1% to 2% of the population, and it's mostly diagnosed in men.
What makes the disorder different from just having the traits?
The biggest difference is a total lack of empathy. They simply cannot understand or care about another person's feelings.
That is so hard to imagine.
It is. They might use their spouse or their kids just for attention. They see people as tools.
Wait, let me ask you about kids, because kids can be really self-centered. If a child acts selfishly, should parents be worried?
Oh, don't worry. Parents do not need to panic about that.
Okay, that's a relief.
Yeah, NPD is a diagnosis only for adults. Kids being self-centered is just a totally normal part of growing up.
Right, they are just figuring out the world.
Exactly. It only becomes a disorder in adults when it completely takes over their life and ruins their relationships.
Okay, that makes sense. So if this behavior causes so much pain in adults, why does it happen?
That is the big question. Nature, nurture, or culture?
Are people born this way or made this way?
Well, twin studies show there's a strong genetic part to it. You can be born with a tendency for it.
Even though we don't know the exact genes yet?
Right. But your environment, especially your parents, plays a huge role. If parents put a child on a massive pedestal, giving them endless praise and treating them better than everyone else, it can create grandiose narcissism.
Oh, wow. That is such a sad paradox. Because putting a kid on a pedestal probably just feels like love to the parents.
I know, but it actually builds a huge wall between the child and real human connection. They aren't ready for the real world.
And what about the quiet type? The vulnerable ones?
That is often caused by cold, controlling parents. The child feels insecure, so they demand special treatment to protect their fragile feelings.
So extreme parenting on both sides can cause it. But what about culture?
Culture plays a massive role. It is much higher in cultures that value individuality and self-promotion.
Like in the U.S.?
Exactly. In the U.S., these traits have been rising since the 1970s, moving away from community and moving toward materialism and self-esteem.
Which makes me think of social media. Does social media cause narcissism? Because it feels like it does.
Surprisingly, no. Social media does not cause it.
Wait, really? It seems like a factory for self-obsession.
It looks like it, but it's not the cause. It just gives people who already have these traits a massive tool to seek attention.
Oh, that makes sense. Social media is just the microphone, not the voice itself.
That is the perfect way to say it. It's just a microphone.
So if the genetics are there and the culture is loud, is there any hope?
What do you mean?
I mean, if you know someone like this, or if you want to improve yourself, can people actually change?
The simple answer is yes. Improvement is absolutely possible.
That is so good to hear. What helps them change?
Things like psychotherapy, practicing compassion for others, and honest self-reflection. But there is a very big challenge.
What's the challenge?
It is incredibly hard for someone with a disorder to keep working at getting better, because looking at themselves from an unflattering angle is exactly what they're terrified of doing.
Oh, right, because their whole identity is built on being perfect. How do you help someone look in the mirror when they only want to see a perfect picture?
It's really hard. It requires practicing empathy, almost like working out a muscle that hasn't been used in a long time.
An empathy muscle, I like that.
Yeah, the first few times they try to use it, it's going to feel very uncomfortable and weak.
But if they keep practicing, it gets stronger.
Exactly. Practicing compassion makes change possible.
Well, before we end, let's quickly go over that again to keep this simple.
Good idea.
So, narcissism is basically an inflated self-image, and there are two kinds we talked about.
Right. The loud kind, which is grandiose, and the quiet, fragile kind, which is vulnerable.
And it comes from both genetics and extreme childhood environments. But the most hopeful part is that while change is really hard, practicing compassion makes it possible.
Beautifully said. It is all about building that empathy muscle.
Before we go, we just want to say thank you to our amazing listeners. We truly appreciate your support.
We really do. And we have a question for you. Have you ever noticed these traits in a character from a movie or maybe someone in your past?
Tell us in the comments. We love reading your messages and hearing your stories.
And don't forget to subscribe for more easy and fun English practice. Give this video a like if it helped you today.
And please share it with someone who wants to improve their English or just wants to understand people a little better.
You can also watch more full practice videos on our channel.
Until next time, keep practicing and enjoy your morning. Bye for now.
Goodbye, everyone.